Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome to another installment of the Quickview series. This one of the Redux variety, where we go back to the tires that predate the test protocol, the 10 stations in the scoring format of the test protocol. And this is technically, okay, it is a Quickview Redux, but it is also a Rearview, because not only do they not make the Deep Woods anymore, but Duratrax is basically no longer a thing. It got the full horizon, and we no longer have the rebadged Louise, the OE builder of tires for a multitude of companies internationally. The Fast Trax Rocco, the Louise Champ, and the Duratrax Deep Woods are all the same tire with a different name on the sidewall. The final Duratrax tire that we were seeing out on the open market, well, two. The Class 1 Duratrax Pivot and the Class 2 Duratrax Fossil. And if you've been out and about in the world as of recent, you may have seen that during some of the pre-Black Friday festivities, Horizon and other retailers were selling the Duratrax Fossil for $5.99 a pair. And that is generally an indication that thing isn't going to be anymore. Because what had happened is when Horizon bought the Duratrax name, Horizon already owns a nameplate that they like to use to sell tires, and that is Proline. So they don't want, why would you want to compete with yourself? So they basically lowered the axe on Duratrax. Little rhyming scheme there. And that is, to the best of my knowledge, or that is at least what the market would indicate. Because otherwise, we would still be able to buy Champs and, Deep Woods and Scalers and Showdowns and all of the other Duratrax tires, all of which are gone. The Fossil was the only one that was still showing up out on the market. And it was very different. It didn't have the smooth sidewall with the white, which is almost worn off on these. And also, in terms of full Redux, these have been here for a while. They are fully feathered in on the front. Canyon softs all the way around for our testing gentleman baseline, our Class 2 test guy. These, and a couple of them are freshly built. So we're sitting at right at 120, which is just under 4 3/4. So we're about where we should be. Because the Deep Woods, is this one easier to read? Oh yeah, I mean, look at that one, crispy. Much less wear on this pair. The Deep Woods is roughly the same size as a Canyon Trail. It's about the same width. It's a hair taller. Not quite 4.65, not quite 4.75. And we sit at about 47 millimeters wide. I mean, 118 by 46, 47, 48 is going to be your average run-of-the-mill Class 2 tire. Except these are the Duratrax Deep Woods. The tire that, in my experience here, and have been featured in episodes going way back into the deep, dark sands of times lost, a tire that basically doesn't care if it's wet, doesn't care if it's sunny, cloudy, they don't care. The traction profile of a Deep Woods on a warm, sunny day and on a dank, rainy day are about the same. While I cannot experience it here directly, as this is, yes, indeed, the desert where it rains about 20 days a year, and some days the humidity drops to single digits. I have received reports from people who live in places that do have not only weathers, but yes, would you believe it, seasons. And when I say weathers, I speak of places like Michigan, places under the mighty dome of the lake effect, where it's 75 and sunny, pouring rain, maybe a little bit of snow in a 24-hour period. We do not have that here. We have an overnight low of 50 and a daytime high of 70. That's what the winter looks like here. There's a 20-degree differential between as cold as it gets and as hot as it gets, and it's clear and sunny for weeks on end. I know, it's tough, but we do our best. So the Deep Woods here, we have driven these in pouring rain on the day that I found out that a patio umbrella is for the sun. It doesn't really stop rain very well. After a while, it saturates and the water comes through. But we drove these in the pouring rain, and of the tires that we tested on that day, the Deep Woods, in terms of handling mud, loading, unloading, doing all of that stuff, was above and beyond. Better even than a cut canyon trail in those extreme environments. And for a long, hot minute, the Deep Woods was kind of our de facto choice. We love a canyon trail. There are 4 sets of them on rigs, and there are 4 more sets up on the rack. So we have at least 8 sets of canyon trails in service. We only have 3 sets of Deep Woods in service and 1 Champs. So we have the same number in service, but half the number overall because, I mean, let's face it, canyon trails are very inexpensive and easy to obtain. Presumably, you will always be able to buy them because Traxxas makes them. You can still buy a Traxxas Bandit with Phillips head hardware and the white plastics, just like it's 1986. They're still selling them. Go look it up. You can just buy one, just like they used to be, with the white wheels and everything. So the Deep Woods will get their go at the protocol. All 10 stations. We will do all of the things. And let's hope that they maintain the luster that they've always had. I was, in recent memory, most pleasantly surprised by the Redux of the J-Concepts Landmine, which had not shined as brightly as the Deep Woods. But the Deep Woods is a goer currently. The one fleet 6x6 is on Deep Woods, and they are more than he needs. Absolutely tremendous. But they look real good. I've always kind of liked the beefy sidewall look of the Deep Woods. It's a good looking tire. So let us see if it lives up to the rose tinted glasses of memory, as I haven't driven one in, it's got to be about 2 months now. So every day a new one, every protocol trying to pretend that it's the same as the one before. Let us go together to the rocks. It is a cool morning. As I said, it's probably around 50 degrees outside. It is predator weather. I have yet to find a tire that doesn't benefit from it being 50 degrees outside. But, you know, every day, a new adventure. So let me start off by telling you about how our lives are, whether you realize it or not, whether you like it or not, and I don't think any of us do, dominated by technology, which is brought out all the stuff, set it down, microphone won't turn on. Oh, I figure, maybe I forgot to charge it. I'll just grab a cable, I'll plug it into the battery pack that resides on the side of the camera, right? Big 10,000 pack on there. We'll just plug it in, it won't be a problem. Plug it in, still doesn't power up. Okay, we'll consult the app. Open up the app. This device requires an update to connect. Fine. Okay, if you're gonna enslave me to your Bluetooth nonsense, you go right ahead. Begin the update process. Do not close app or move to background during update. Okay, absolutely fine. I grab a rake, start cleaning up some leaves, start doing, I gotta keep my hands busy. I look over, it's at about 17, 18%. I'm like, wow, this is moving really quickly. Probably about maybe 2% per minute. So I go back to raking. I look back over where the phone is, and the screen has gone black. And I'm like, what? So the microphone went to sleep, and then the update stopped. You might ask, does the update resume at 18%? Oh, no. You get to start over. So at this point, I just carried the whole camera rig, the phone, everything, carried it all back to the shop, hooked up to the Wi-Fi, set it on a bench, and began the process of cleaning and masking a body for painting. The update to firmware for this microphone right here took 40 minutes. 40. Baseline has been sitting out here with his battery powered up for 40 minutes. I recorded that the indoor bit, the part immediately before that transition about, call it an hour, 50 minutes ago. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I just know I have the board, I got the bucket, I have everything required. No, we need to, there he goes. There it is. Yeah. I want a tire. I want everything to just not even perform as advertised. Just do the thing, do the very basic functions required of the family of things to which that particular thing belongs. Deep Woods, tire. Just do tire stuff. You don't have to murder all lines. You don't have to shatter the world and shake the firmament. Just do tire stuff. This microphone, I can't complain about the microphone. The microphone works flawlessly until at some point, I don't know how they do it. Someone will have to explain it to me. They can basically brick your microphone. I assume there's a firmware thing going on where, like, why would it stop working? Like, why would its auto on just not work anymore? I know that the setting for that is in the app, but how did it tell it to, on this fine morning, just don't do that anymore? Make him spend 40 minutes updating. I kid you not. That microphone charges faster than it firmware updates. Usually every Thursday, all of the things that run on batteries, all the batteries go on the charger. And then they're fresh for the next week. So I plug this thing in, I'm doing my whatnot cleaning stuff up. It seldom takes 40 minutes to get the microphone to full charge. I can't even focus on the tire here. All I can think about is that stupid app. So as I love an inauspicious beginning as much as the next guy, we're just gonna go with the flow. Get that bumper clear. I was surprised, genuinely, if it's something tire related that I was surprised by. We're trying to get the inserts seated here. Is that it did as well as it did over on, over on Slick Rock, because the foams are not just new in the tire, but I just taped them together. Ooh, when that caught, that really caught. Little bonus self right there. They feel like Deep Woods. A little bit of shudder there. Is my wheel speed too high? I think my wheel speed's a little bit too high. Those are the risks coming off of, I mean, I don't know if the phrase is too many tire tests, but every tire, well, okay, not every tire, generally, two different tires, particularly of different layouts and compounds, are going to behave differently. If you're within the J-Concepts family, say, or within the Duratrax family, there will certainly be similarities between tires, but I'm trying to remember. The last thing was probably some sort of Rearview, so like a Moab or something. Might have been something X2SS. Can't tell. Like, it doesn't feel mechanical now. We just have this little bit of hesitation. It's starting to come back to me. It's happening slowly. Did I do a center cut? I did. What I didn't do is this side right here. Let's see. We'll do the back and forth. A little action here. Yeah, it's good. It's good, straight through. Yeah. What I'm most anxious to see is if the number on the card ends up adding up to whatever the Champ got, because I have no recollection of what the Champ got. I don't remember what the last tire I tested got. The Champ? When? Who? It's also tough coming off of rear views and stuff or really anything class 3, even if you can still buy it. There's a real difference in performance. Yeah, that looks super solid. Just that right amount of slip. Oh, right into the pocket. And then are we going to lift? Yeah, but just the tiniest bit. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, for a Class 2 is pretty much exactly what you want from a Class 2 tire. It has just that right amount of slip, like it's not over biting. There are some tires and certain compounds that you can get this like abundance of grip, and they will have either no lateral give, or that lateral give will be unpredictable. And this is neither of those. The Deep Woods is, in general, very predictable. It's that the tread pattern has got just enough chevron to it. And I do realize the Deep Woods is definitely swamper adjacent, where you have a center row of a specific type of lug and then you have an outer lug. But they've got just that right amount of shoulder lug, just the right amount of shape. They do have lugs that interfere, so there's no straight line through the lugs where you can just see daylight all the way through. That tends to be the hold is the big one of that. You can lay a toothpick down across the tread and just have a straight, so you get too much lateral give. These have just like, this is not steering input, that right there. And now we're super low. That's a rolling point, so we're gonna burp it around a little. Even though we're real high up, there's this excess of confidence that you feel through there, because you're like, it's not going to give. It's not going to give away. It's going to hold up. These are I have squids specifically for Deep Woods, but these were fitted with Canyon Customs because that's how we try to run a Quickview. So if the biggest issue I have today are batteries, that's going to be absolutely fine. He's got, oh yeah. That was okay, I would ordinarily try to hit that a little bit slower to see how much bite can we actually get. Any incline struck with sufficient speed is a jump. Oh, it's so right there. This is very low. I wouldn't task most tires with a speed this low. We're doing fixed speed. If we can pull across, get that edge up, oh yeah, that's real nice. It is a tire that, when we speak in terms of total available grip, like you have that grip spread between aspects, whether it be wet, dry, dusty, if it's hot or cold. This compound not tremendously temperature dependent. Performance is not temperature dependent. You've got forward drive versus lateral bite. The Deep Woods distributes it all so evenly. It is really, to me, like a refined canyon trail. And I know a lot of people, they don't give the canyon trail the respect it's due, because a little cut and sipe, you get the right insert in that. It is held back mostly by the insert that comes in it. The insert that comes in at Deep Woods, Duratrax was really good about their stock inserts. They would work a lot of the time. In some of the test tires, hanging on the pegboard that holds the inserts, there are a number of Duratrax and Element OE foams because they do it well. Traxxas does not. So if there was an advantage of the Deep Woods over the Canyon Trail, the first part of that would be just ease of use. You don't have to cut any lugs off. You're not going to have to bake them off of a set of wheels. You just take them and slap them on your beadlocks and you're good to go. Yeah, these are, it's like the Canyon Trail, but just that much better. These are, in my estimation, after having tested a number of tires, genuinely, I think that for something Class 2, this is all you really need. You know? It really is. And a better choice for portals than something from pretty much anything from J Concepts, to be honest, because they are a little bit shorter. And if on the squids, they're even shorter still. They're a little bit under 4.6. So there's really nothing bad about the Deep Woods, which is obviously a big part of the reason that they got discontinued. Do you think Axial R35 compound tires are terrible on purpose? Do you think Axial does that on purpose? I mean, yeah. Why do you think windshield wiper blades last a year? If you're lucky. Because they don't want them to last forever. Axial, by a similar token, doesn't want your OE tires that come on your insert Axial model here to be good enough to where you go, hey, awesome, I'm just gonna run these. They want you to go buy the Proline version. That's why we don't have Duratrax anymore. It's hard to sell a $38 pair of Proline insert model here when you can go buy, or could at the time, typically a pair of Duratrax like Deep Woods would be $23, $24 a pair with serviceable foams. So under 50 bucks, and guess what? You're done. You buy them, you put them on, and you run them. Well, that doesn't work. That doesn't fit into the model, where Prolines are $33 a pair, have foams that are, to quote one of my favorite Instagram reel guys, Chateau Garbage. It doesn't work. It doesn't help your business model. It's hard to sell the tire that you have to build as a kit because the included foam is useless, and the compound is so, I think the best applicable word is territorial. Like, G8 is built for the desert of the American West and Southwest. It wants 12 grit stone. G8 is Proline's X2 S3, or actually vice versa. G8 has been around much longer than RC 4-wheel drive's X2 S3. Those are compounds for very high grip environments. And then what else do they offer you? Everything Duratrax came in C3. So then what else do you have from Proline? You have Predator. If you live in Norway, Predator could be your guy, right? If you live anywhere where the temperature at any point in the year gets above 80 degrees Fahrenheit for an extended period of time, Predator might not be for you, because there's going to be 6-7 months a year. This video is being recorded in December. The forecast high for today is 78 degrees, which means the temperature on the very rocks upon which Baseline sits right now will easily hit 100. Predator will not work. It's December, folks. A December to remember? I don't know. Oh, this is the perfect mix, because the Champ, it's gone from memory, was probably right around where this tire is. And you can still buy those. There is still, to my recollection, HRP, Hobby Recreation Products, is a U.S. distributor for Louise. So we still have that. We got that going for us. But there's also a little part of me that is feeling a little bit rear view, because yes, these are feathered. Yes, these have an insert that, I guess I could call semi-optimized, even though it's just a Canyon Custom Soft. These are proper good. Better than the Canyon Trails he runs every day. I'll go on record. All I can figure is that when we had gotten to Daphne's, Station 2, we hadn't loaded ooh, that squirted. We hadn't loaded it up enough for the insert to really start behaving within the tire. I don't know if we can get belly over on that side. Let's try this side. Yeah, and it's just super solid. The predictability of it. There is not the same level of forward drive in C3, even if well worn in, compared to J-Concept's green. But this is one of the first sets of aftermarket tires I ever bought. These have been here for several years and been in service on multiple vehicles. Still absolutely solid. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Yeah. There are points where, and bonus for the Deep Woods. They will do just fine. Second gear, TRX 4, just absolutely hooting and hollering through the woods. But, like, to make this ascent on soft side, we go real slow. That tire over. That's nice. That's nice. So predictable. And it's not like they have a lack of forward drive. They just don't quite have the forward drive of other tires in the league here. But they make up for, I genuinely believe, we'll go really heavy side here. Bellied up, give it a little, give it a little, give it a little hop there. Oh, that's nice. Because they can maneuver at such a low level of throttle input, you don't have to rely as much on the bump. Can we get a big kick out of it? It's moderate. Now give it a real hard bump. See? Boom. Lands. Why? Am I getting... Oh. Okay. Direct power servo. Sitting there waiting. Remember the camera? Yeah, we're going into cutoff. We're going into cutoff right now. Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, that seems about right. He must have just had one tire. Like, here's the real problem, everybody, with direct power servos. Let's complain about technology a little more. Like, see how that tire is? We'll go right like that. So there's a little bit of angle on that tire. That servo is now energized. So if the battery's plugged in, even if the rig isn't on, that servo is energized and it's just vampiring the pixies out of that battery. So, like I said, we were gonna have battery problems all day. We have 2 stations remaining. There's top speed. We get to do those 2 stations on a second battery. So another walk back to the shop, yes. But it did give me time to remember, hey, you didn't self-write it. It should self-write a little better with a fresh battery in it. Boop. Yeah, that's what we like. Is that how we like it? That's how we like it. There's a huge turning circle for you. 3.5 feet. Beep. Bam. Will it do the big stuff though? You gotta whip it. If you're using forward throttle, so we go, herp, come on. So if we steer down and forward throttle, it just kind of slides us. You gotta kind of, the whip, you go left, right, left. Actually, I should say, we should phrase that differently because our axes are turned on us. So we turn down, then we give it a little throttle, and then we'll go up, and then we'll go down again. So we go, didn't quite. We'll pull it back over here. We go down, up, down. That's why it's easier just to, and we do dock. We dock a little bit for that because some tires, the shape, well, all tires, the shape of the sidewall is ultimately what determines self-writability. Boop. Because if we do this, it's instantaneous. That's and it does it in a really short length. He barely moves backwards to do it. That's what you want. You want to be able to just self-write in place. So we have to dock a little bit because that's so good though. That's so good. Yeah, we got to take that 10th, right? This is why everything isn't dropping $98.99 because it's the little stuff. Some people never self-ride a vehicle. I get it. But I don't want to get up. So I self-ride them all. The leaf apocalypse is almost complete for the year. The stink trees. But that is super packed. Stink trees are the only thing out here that really just lose, that have an autumn, that have a fall. They actually just lose leaves. Surrounding me, I'm gonna turn my eyes skyward. Pepper trees, olive trees, cypress, Italian cypress. There's another olive, another pepper. We of course got that Palo Verdes, but they drop stuff year round. They don't give a crap what season it is. Yeah, and then looking all around them, there's palm trees, of course, pine trees of several different varieties of palm trees. Most of these things don't, they don't drop. Pine trees drop needles all year. They are evergreen, but they're constantly dropping needles. The same with olives, the same with peppers. Olive is a hardwood, but it never really loses this. Right up above there, boom, big old olive tree. Thankfully for this obstacle, the recording and everyone involved, a non-fruiting olive tree. But the stinky trees, the stinky boys, they have filled Mavericks. My foot is on Mavericks right here. It's full, absolutely full of leaves. But we're almost through it. The deep woods it won't be shown by this. This is too tightly packed in. We have no looseness to this. The deep woods is up there, upper echelon of tires suited to different terrains and surface transitions. As at home on, here's a little loose pile of dirt. As at home on loose dirt and rocks and twigs and everything. It's kind of in the name, is it not? Deep woods. Something about, I am now concluding, this is a potential hot take, I could be completely wrong. And this is a C3 compound from several years ago, compared to the Champs that I bought relatively recently. I would say that C3, for whatever reason, feels more balanced across all obstacles than, I think they just call it super soft at Louise, than the super soft Champs. For whatever reason, I had always just assumed they were the same. That they however they do it, silkscreen. However they put the white paint on the side. One says Louise Champs CRs. One says Duratrax Deep Woods. I don't think it's the same compound. Or alternately, this is just really well feathered in, and the Champs that I have are not well feathered in. I guess the best way to do this would be to put these on one of the brothers and the Champs, which are currently mounted because they run on the Mias Goldflake build. I'll put those on the other brother and run them side by side to see if there are any actual differences. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll have some time set aside on a day and we'll do that. The surface transition of the deep woods, and particularly the performance of a deep woods when you get it nice and dusty and or dirty or muddy and then hit a rock with it, deep woods truly fall into the definition of ain't care. I've hit this obstacle here at Teardrop with them completely loaded with mud to where they look like glazed donuts. Drives exactly the same. I expect no surprises on wet because the deep woods, isn't that a fun, oh, that's nice. Who doesn't like a crunchy leaf? We should. Let's see if I can keep camera 2 out of it. There we go. Oh, yeah. This is living right here. It's also mashing the leaves into tiny little pieces, which is going to make them more difficult to rake up later, but you know what? Oh, that's nice. Oh, so crunchy. So we arrive back at the splash zone here. We will start soft side over there. I'll take the tight turn here. Yeah, let me talk about steering response. You can get 3-wheel motion out of these particular, well, on a caster flipped element axle, you can get to a point where on a sharp turn on a harder surface, you will lift the front inside tire. Bellied, gotta get around the belly. I kind of like to hit this dry first because I don't want to go straight into a mechanical the first time we try to test it. Yeah, they are, I don't want to say, the word that comes to mind, which I don't think here is accurate, is inelegant. I wouldn't say that they're inelegant. I would say that the way they approach an obstacle is very utilitarian. The Deep Woods just goes. You pick your line, and they're going to go, and they're going to struggle at a bare minimum. See, and then I set it, and then I bellied up. I bellied up immediately. There we go. Yeah. It genuinely feels exactly the same as when it's on dry. It really does. There is none of that wheel spin. There's none of that hesitation. Oh, that was superb. Get that bumper? Yeah. Did you just see? It happened for a millisecond, but the slipper engaged. If the slipper can engage on wet, this means that you still have enough, well, you have enough grip to engage the slipper. There are a lot of tires that can't generate enough grip to produce forward motion. These will do enough to where the slipper comes on because you're stuck. Right through the puddle down there at the bottom. Medium levels of throttle, yeah. One of the very, right in there, pass that murder. One of the very top wet tires. Now to the fun part. We got the board. Okay. We did the, oh man. What a change in my life when we figured out the easy way to do the math, which is add up the points it didn't get and not the points that it did get. Because then you're working with much smaller numbers. And then what we have to do is we have to look at where it falls on the board. Oh yeah, did I not mention? 96.8 was the total end score for the Duratrax Deep Woods. And that falls, okay, 96.8 is right there. 1.9 J Concepts megalithic. And I know, there are people that will argue that. Well, go, I mean, you're more than welcome. What I can say is this. I'm waiting for the Class 3 megalithic. I have one singular vehicle running megalithics. I have 4 running Deep Woods. It just, the megalithic is definitely aimed more towards pure drive, pure forward drive. And I think that they are a tire that does a bit better on its stock insert. They need that little bit more. They need something really soft in there. The Deep Woods doesn't care as much. Oh yeah, I need to look. Where is... So the megalithic is tied for 16th place, I think is right. And the Champ is in 21st place between the G-Made MT1905 and the BFG Crawler at a 96.3. So half a point better. Now, is that because this is Redux format and these tires are feathered in and we know how they're going to work and we have a better idea of how to drive them? Or is it because the Champ is supposedly the same tire? I think after this, it either comes down to the fact that every tire gets better as it gets worn in. That's just how it is. It's only going to get so much better, though. A truly bad tire, when well worn, isn't going to turn good. It'll make a good tire a little bit better. So is it down to the feathering? Is it down to the Deep Woods there on baseline are in the primes of their lives? Or is Duratrax C3 and Louise Supersoft not the same thing? Half a point is fairly significant. It does make me want to run them side by side because I think that's really the only way to see. And even at that, the Deep Woods will have a slight advantage because they're more worn in. The other tires are pretty new. Though we did run the other ones out at Proline on, extreme high G8 rocks, I guess we'll call them. So maybe I think it need be done. I think we need to do this versus that. There might still be Deep Woods available out there somewhere. Pretty much every mass retailer is going to be, they'll be gone. I want the Champ to be as good, is what it is. And after this, it's definitely Deep Woods. Or it feels like it's definitely Deep Woods. And now I'm very uncertain about the whole thing. If there's something that I am certain about, it's that I thank you so very much for tuning in today. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, 100%. I invite you to list any questions, comments, or concerns below. If you are in the group, which I imagine has to be relatively small, who has experience with both Louise Champs and Deep Woods, and if you've tried Rocco's, throw them in there too. Those are ones I want to try, but shipping from the UK is murderous. So I haven't. But because A, want to catch them all. B, I want to know, are there differences? Like, are the different labels speccing different compounds? That would be great, because that means that they're not just being like, yes, we'll take X amount of these, slap our name on them. I don't know. I'd love to find out. You can't take my Deep Woods away. I like them too much. Yeah, we did the other part. We did this part. We did that part. Yep. Baseline says, have a good one, everybody. We look forward to seeing you next time. And in between now and when we meet again, please, one and all, do your very best to have a good one, everybody. We will see you again here from the canyon real soon. Deep Woods on their way out. They are really good. Would I put them directly up against a megalithic? I kind of would. Do we need to do that? Do we need to do a Triforce day? Do we need to do Deep Woods versus Champs versus megalithics? Like, we can swap them around. If the Champs are doing less good, we can throw the megalithics on that guy. We might have just arrived at an idea for an episode. Just like that.